This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. We continue with the Patriots now, and they have their first preseason game on Thursday night against the Washington Redskins. Some developments in camp this week, some injuries, and first, one of the guys who seemed like he was always injured, Malcolm Mitchell, getting cut by the Patriots, and he was drafted a number of years ago, kind of fell in the draft because of his injury, his knee injury. He never really was able to get healthy. He had a good production in the Super Bowl against the Falcons, but a guy with a lot of talent, just never healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a good, they got good value out of that draft pick. I think it was a fourth-round draft pick,
so.
I want to say. I mean, he played a big role. Let's see, was that 2000 against the Falcons?
Yeah, it was against the Falcons a couple years ago.
Right, he had a big role in that game in the Super Bowl. He looked like he was going to be a big part of this team going forward. You know, he's a pretty big guy. He was a good receiver, played well with Tom Brady, made some good moves, ran some good routes, but just couldn't stay healthy. It was kind of a surprise to me.
Right.
You know, I thought even if he was a little banged up, they would still try to bring him back because he played so well with them. But,
right, and I think that's what it was. They tried, and last year he tried coming back and he wasn't healthy, and then this year in the voluntary mini camps he wasn't healthy. So it was one of those things where I think they tried as much as they could, and now with some of the lack of depth at wide receiver, they just couldn't keep a guy. I know he's good and he has potential, but if he's not on the field, they got to cut you at some point. And speaking of a guy who's not on the field on any team, Des Bryant, would he be a fit on this Patriots team? We've seen Belichick bring these guys in. Obviously, it would have to be a low contract, not a guarantee, which is probably not what Des Bryant wants. But he'd have a chance to play with the best quarterback in the league, the best coach, and maybe get a payday next year.
Right. I mean, I think he would probably fill in that kind of the deep threat role that Brandon Cooks held down last year. It's going to come down to, I think, obviously money. He's gonna have to take a little bit of a pay cut if he's going to join the Pats. That's usually the cost. And also, we've seen Des Bryant kind of be a little bit of a dramatic player.
Right.
He's he's had some off the field stuff. He's been a bit of a nuisance in the locker room. So is Bill Belichick going to deal with that? Is Des going to kind of grow up, take a lesser role, take a pay cut, but be a part of a championship caliber team? I mean, I don't know if he's mature enough yet. He's an older player now, so maybe he's kind of he's calmed down a little bit. If he's willing to do those things, he could be a great fit. He's a great player.
Right, he's a great player. He's got the talent. You're right. You just wonder at what level does he realize that, hey, this might be his last chance, because the longer he sits out of the league, he thinks he's going to get this big payday, but the longer he sits out, the harder it's going to be for him to acclimate himself back to game speed, football shape. So it will be interesting because this wide receiver depth chart is, as we said, getting smaller and smaller. Obviously, you have the Edelman injury, so he's out for 4 games. You now have Mitchell gone. Obviously, you still got Chris Hogan, Philip Dorsett, he's there. Who might be out? You got Kenny Britt, Eric Decker.
Right.
Are all these guys going to make the team? Plus Braxton Berrios, the rookie from Miami. They got a lot of wide receivers, but there's not many guarantees to make the team beyond Hogan and Dorsett.
Yeah, I think I think Kenny Britt could be a candidate to get cut. I think their offense right now, it's going to be. It's kind of, we don't really know who's going to make the opening team, right? This is kind of a new, the offense, it's almost a bit of a rebuild. I mean, they lost a lot of pieces, obviously, like Amendola, he was a big wide receiver for them. Cooks is gone, like I was saying. So it's got, right now it's a toss-up, and that running back, too.
Yeah, running back is another one.
Yeah, right. Sony Michel, heard he's had a bit of an injury. I mean, he was their top draft pick. A bit of a surprise taking a running back.
Right.
So, their offense, who knows? I mean, really the only consistent pieces after 4 games is going to be Edelman, Gronk, Tom, and Chris Hogan. Outside of that, I mean, maybe James White. But there's going to be some new pieces, definitely.
And Rex Burkhead, I'm excited to see him. He played well when he was healthy last year.
Good receiving back.
Right, good guy out of the backfield. I think he'll make the team. Obviously, Michelle will make the team. And then you wonder, and then James White, those 3 guys are going to be there. But then you wonder what's going to happen after that. Will Jeremy Hill, will Mike Gillislee, a guy who they got last year, he didn't play a lot. He was in the doghouse. He was hurt. So we're going to have to see. These games will be important in the preseason, and we'll have to see who's going to make the team, who's on the bubble, and as they get the roster trimmed down before the season. So lots to pay attention to in this Patriots preseason. Also lots to talk about in the AFC North. We'll break that division down when we come back You're watching YCN Sports Talk.